What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Verse Crypto channel. We got another awesome live stream today. We're going to be talking about one of my personal favorite projects, titanX. We've got a whole list that we need to cover today and some things I want to talk about. We're going to get into price performance, token inflation, talk a little bit about some influencer FUD because I got so many influencers coming at me. I don't know why. I don't know why everybody likes to beef with me, but I'll tell you guys a little bit of the inside scoop on that. We're going to talk a little bit about Hyper, get into some projects launching on titanX, and maybe get into some numerology and astrology if you guys want to get into it about the Hyper launch date. Because for some reason, everybody keeps thinking I'm like the titanX numerology guy, which, I mean, it's cool. It is what it is. But I got a lot of things to talk about. I got my handy dandy black book, and also what I want to say is we can use this as an AMA if you got questions about stuff, if you want me to break stuff down, if you want to talk about titanX fundamentals, anything you want to talk about, put it down in the chat. I'm down to keep it interactive. This could be a very short live stream, or we can keep it nice and long. So definitely really great stuff. Let's double check the chat real quick. Hold on, I need to make sure you need to get the chat up. All right, man. I gotta get this ad going. Hold on. Let me get this up. One sec. Make sure I get the chat up real quick before we get into the good stuff. Hold on. All right, cool. Awesome. Now, let's get on to what we got in the market right now. Coming over here to the price of Bitcoin. I drew out this nice little price prediction on Bitcoin. I'm starting to learn some TA. And so I was tracing out some of the tops, and it seems like we're actually following this nice little trend line going up. We're going up, bumping down. Had a couple bullish ascending triangles. And it seems like we're going to have a very bullish January. On top of that, the Bitcoin ETF is right around the corner. I believe it's going to be on January 8th or 9th. But ultimately, we got the CTF coming out. People are excited. People are hyped up. Is this going to mean that we're going to continue to climb up into the Bitcoin halving, or are we going to see a major correction? I'm not really sure, but I'm predicting something could potentially happen basically going towards I would say the end of January is what we're looking at. But overall, everything's really bullish. We're holding pretty strong. We definitely have a retest level on 46,341. This is one thing I'm going to look at to see if we bounce up or bounce down. That'll be our next bullish / bearish indicator. Now, moving on to crypto bubbles. Let's take a look at what's popping. Right now, SCI absolutely exploding. I don't know if you guys follow Elliott Trades, but he talks a lot about gaming crypto, and he actually came out with a YouTube video saying that SCI could potentially be the next Solana based on volume. And I do agree this is a blockchain everybody should keep their eye on. I haven't seen much of a DeFi build out, but I do think this is a project you should all be looking at. And then also, since you guys support me so much, and trust me, I'll get the titanX in a minute. Bit, Tensor, Tau. This is a project I'm going to cover on future live streams, but right behind titanX, this is actually one of my biggest holdings. I went so far deep in AI research, and in my opinion, this could potentially be like a Bitcoin AI type narrative going on to the next market. And so this is actually a project that's really cool. If you guys get a chance, check it out. But for this live stream, we're not talking about it. Now, coming in the top 200, see what's crack-a-lacking. Moon River popping up within the Polkadot ecosystem. What else? I mean, I don't know. I guess we have a little bit of a dip. Metis. This layer 2 scaling solution. Vitalik's mom actually is on the board of Metis, and I was talking to my boy Adam from Viber Finance. We were having discussions about how Metis is going to perform in the future, and in my opinion, I think this thing is going to compete with Polygon. That's my biggest prediction. I could be wrong, but that's my #1 layer 2 scaling solution pick for the upcoming bull market. So, awesome stuff. Let's check out the chat, see what's crack-a-lacking. God, oh man, you got 52 people in here. That's pretty sick. All right. What's up, Lord88? Shout out to you. I like the numerology. LFG. Shady, always good to have you. My boy, Damien. What's up? Damien's in the chat. It's always good to see you, brother. Absolutely love you, Damien. Hey, I know you say you're gonna hit me up on Twitter. Be sure to drop down your Twitter handle down below so I can follow you if you wanted to message me. KQ Wano, thank you for all the work and dedication. Yeah, appreciate you, man. And thank you for all the support, and keep getting the word out about titanX out there. Keep spreading good, positive vibes. Bull market's right on the corner. It's time to do our thing. Damien, here to show support to the homie. Shout out to you. DVN, let's go. Awesome, great to have you, DVN. Dan, bring the FUD. Absolutely. I'm always down to bring the FUD. But awesome. Great to have you, Dane. Germans won. Diamond bag, rocket, diamond. Not diamond bag. I'm sorry. Money bag, rocket, money bag, rocket. I couldn't agree more, man. Definitely good stuff. Firefight 82. I love that. Need that titanX fix. Definitely agree. Thanks for coming to join the live chat. Rayo X, the homie, the Shib Inu whale, the legend. Where the titanX snipers at? We the professional degenerates. Let's freaking go, baby. Shout out to you, man. Thanks for being in the chat. Firefighting. Only problem with titanX is finding more money to make more miners. Absolutely. This is basically the time to do miners is probably right now that we're hitting this max FUD event. But we're going to get a little bit into what's going on with the miners, give you guys a daily breakdown, yada, yada, all that good stuff. Germans won. Titan makes it hard to sleep. Hey, man. Look, at the end of the day, your main goal of every investment is to get your initial out. Once you get your initial out, then at the end of the day, you win and actually makes it easier for you to sleep at night. G, what's up, G? What's good, man? Good to see you. Blue, shout out to Blue. Always good to see you. The boss, man. What's up, my man? Good to see you. How much is Metis right now? Metis is sitting at about $81, and it almost got up to $100. So it's definitely some awesome price action. I think it hit right around 8 to 10x. We'll talk about that on another live stream, but I know I like to go in the beginning and talk about coins and stuff. Car Pro, we love to hear FUD. Absolutely, man. Great to have you in live stream. Henrik, greetings from Denmark. Dang, I got people from Denmark watching me. Yo, that is what's up, my man. That's pretty cool. So awesome stuff. Great to have you guys in the live stream. If you got any questions, drop them down below. All right, last one and before I move it on. All right, just got one. Just got on Metis. Any alpha on yield farms? So Metis has a few dexes. I believe Hummus Swap, which is a platypus fork. I believe they might have a yield farm, and then there's a couple other ones. So I'll cover that on a future live stream where we can get into yield farming and whatnot for Metis. But I'll definitely write that down and make sure we get into that. So I'm gonna write that down right now. So cool. All right, now let's keep it moving. And let's talk about the stuff that you guys are here to talk about. Let's talk about titanX, baby. Now, let's go over to screen share. So, first off, let's do price analysis, and then let's stop, and then I'll get into a little bit in the token inflation. So, basically, what happened was launch came in. Everybody got so excited. Boom, green candle, baby, all the way up. Now, from this green candle, what happened was people started getting in. The FOMO set in. So a bunch of people bought in here, it went up, and then went down, down, down as we started to see short term miners come in and basically take a massive profit. Then we hit this low right here of about 5 zeros and a 2. And then we slowly started going up, then down, 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 up, 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 down, down, down. So basically right here, we have a little bit of a ascending triangle, pop right on up. And then we are testing this initial support where some people, I believe, actually bought in once the project launched and went up. And I think a lot of this had to do with sniper bots and whatnot. So we started to come up here, and we tried to test this one of these local highs. Then we came back down. Then we went for another run, touched this local high, went right back down, and now we're sending down right here, and we're hitting this price level, potentially going maybe come down here and retest this all-time low, or we could get a trend reversal very soon with a buy and burn contract and then come up to here and retest this. Typically, from what I noticed and from what I've been studying, so we come down here, boom, 1, 2, and then the third one, sometimes we get a breakout, or sometimes it takes the fourth time where we touch this little trend line right here and we try to break out from there on out. But overall, the technical analysis says that we're gonna be trading sideways for a little bit, might have a little bit of dip down, but that's not the main point. Now we need to talk about why is titanX going down. I see a lot of fun on Twitter, and basically how it starts is everybody's talking about titanX. They absolutely love it. They love the game theory. They love the short-term miners. And then I get an army of clown influencers coming in saying that, oh my God, titanX is a scam. It sucks. Yada yada yada. titanX is going to zero. Yada yada yada. Nobody's winning, but everybody keeps posting their miner ROI. So basically, the point I'm trying to get across here is, in the beginning, titanX is going to have a lot of inflation. It's going to be very, very similar to what we see with Hex. When Hex first started launching, there was a massive amount of token inflation, and then it stabilized. It's the same thing with titanX. Now, if we come over here to this awesome dApp, and it was created by Armin Shaimoon. Hopefully I said that right. Is it Armin Shaimoon? I'm not really sure. But basically, we had a large amount of token supply hit the market, and that's part of the reason why the price went down. Now, right down here, they have this really, really awesome block. And I'm going to zoom in right here. It talks about the daily inflation. So right now, we had over, what's that, $500,000 burnt right off the market, which is absolutely awesome. That's about 169 billion titanX tokens. So right now, we are basically in a we are actually in a deflationary period, meaning that a lot of these tokens are being burnt off the market. Less and less people are coming in and doing short-term miners, which is good. Now, one thing I want to talk about is the price dynamic behind titanX and how the future performance is probably going to work. Now, we got to get into the titanX floor, and I'm going to do a little drawing because you guys know I love to draw. One day I'm going to be an artist. Maybe I'll paint a Picasso, yada, 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 all that good stuff. So basically, let's just take a look at this from, terms of a chart. I don't want to do red. I don't want to do red. I want to do some black, baby. Let's do some black. So here's our chart, and I'm going to do like an arbitrary titanX line. So basically, we came up in the beginning, then we dropped down low, and then we started creeping up here, and then we started creeping down here. So basically, titanX is falling like very similar to these waves where we don't necessarily hit this all-time low, but we have a local low. And in periods where we start to see the price absolutely increase, more and more people start short-term miners, and they take profit. And when they take profit, the price goes down below. But also, on top of that, the short-term miners produce less titanX going on to the future because it becomes more expensive to create short-term miners. And also, on top of that, the short-term miners are producing less titanX. So it's going to go low, and then we're going to get a little bit of rise, maybe touch up, and then we're going to go low a little bit more, and then it's going to continue to do this little wave cycle going on into the future. Now, I'm going to make it a little bit more plot out like that, and basically, the point I'm trying to get across is we're basically getting to what I call the titanX miner profit level. So we're going to have this constant wave uptrend going on to the future. Right now, where I believe where we're at right now is we're getting down into one of these lows right here where a bunch of the titanX token is being burned off the market. Now, some factors that we have to keep in mind. Number of titanX tokens out in the market. Miner profit. And then B and B right here. So these are the three factors that are going to determine what I call the titanX price floor. Excuse me. I meant to say the titanX price floor right here. So typically, if we start to go up a little bit, then we're going to have, like I said, miners take profit and then goes down below. And now that we're down at one of these local bottoms, essentially it's very unprofitable to take profit on some of these short-term miners. Now let's just go over here to the miner calculator, which I think I have it right here. So as of right now, to break even on one of your miners, the miner length has to be 22 days. On a future live stream, I believe it was 14 days. Now it's at -34. And then I think in a previous one, it was actually profitable right around 7 days. So right now, we're sitting at about 22 days. And as you guys know, when I like to do short-term miners, I shoot for the 500% ROI just in case. And right now, 500% ROI is probably sitting at about 100 and I want to say 55. Well, we'll say 50. Yeah, so it's probably gonna be 150, 150, yeah, 151. So, in order to hit that 500% ROI, it's at 151. I actually did a short-term miner at 33 days, and now you can slowly start to see that those types of miners you have to do longer, longer, and longer term. Now, with this price level coming in, the thing that's probably going to happen with most of these miners is not many people are going to be doing miners between days. I would probably say 0 to 151. So in this period of time, we're probably not going to see that many titanX miners. I have a feeling some people are going to try to do it. They're basically going to try to like time to see if the price is going to go up. But overall, this is not going to be that much profitable. In my opinion, right now, people are probably going to be shooting for day anything past. All right, that was a bad description. Day 151. And one thing that I was looking at over here at this titanX app, looking at the length of some of these miners. Let's see. So we have a couple 280, 280. We have a couple short-term degens, 90, 280, 53, 90 days, 280, 150, 122. I believe there's one that was like 224, couple 85, 88. But overall, when I go through and I look at some of these miners that are coming out, most of the time people are shooting for that day 280. It looks like this is like the same wallet address. So, wow, someone's mining titanX like crazy right now across the board. So, overall, my main point I'm trying to get across is with this titanX floor, we're going a little bit of a downtrend, but overall, we're probably going to be ascending slowly up. Most people, when they think of titanX, what they're waiting for is they basically want to see this price go absolutely curvature just like that. And to be honest with you guys, it's going to take some time. Will we reach a point like this one day? Maybe. If we get, I don't know, probably 20 projects built on top of titanX, and I'm not going to get into that way too much right now. But overall, with this titanX floor, just wait to see when the price starts to uptick. And when we start to see the price uptick, you're going to come back here to your titanX miner, and there's a good chance that you will probably see that the max miner power 33-day length, this is probably going to be sitting at somewhere between, I would say, 200%, 500% ROI because the price goes up. And that's when we're going to start to see more short-term miners. That's going to cause that nice cyclic wave overall in the price is basically what I'm trying to see. And if you guys just look at the overall token price right here, you can kind of see what I'm trying to plot out, where we go up right here, and then we go down, and then we go up again, and then we go down, and now we're basically sitting at that previous all-time low. And in my opinion, since not many people are coming out and doing more titanX miners, we might have a little bit of bounce to the upside. So that's my overall thoughts on the price. To be honest with you guys, we're going to have tokens come out into the market. People are going to take profit. At the end of the day, everyone's goal is to make money off of this, and that's just how the game works. But when it comes to titanX, you have to think long term. Actually, when it comes to cryptocurrency, you have to think long term. And so, in my opinion, these types of price events and these price levels are where you see people are getting tested. The believers in this project are going to stay in, continue to interact with the DApp, and then the short-term degens are probably going to move on, go into some sort of meme coin on Metis or HBAR, or maybe they go over to the Solana blockchain. So in my opinion, this is just all part of the cycle FUD. Now, the one thing I want to talk about, and this is a key to understanding when it comes to influencer FUD, I sat back for, I would say, a year and a half, and I look at how influencers attack certain projects. Most of these influencers, when they attack these projects, it's out of jealousy, and they're not actually doing the chivalry where they're like, oh, I'm coming after this scam or whatever. They're doing this for intention. They're doing it for clout. They're basically trying to engagement farm on X, because when you engagement farm on X, you get more views, and if you get more views, you get paid. That's just how the game works. Now, if I come back over to this price chart, actually, let's just talk about PDI. If you guys go watch my past live streams, I was into PDI And I'll give you a great example when the Hex Maxis decided to go at it with my homies in the excuse me, in the PDI community. So basically, when I got into PDI, it was about right here. I think it was right around early July, and we basically had initial run up, and this was our first FUD event. So let me show you guys. Let me zoom in real quick. I'm telling you, this has a lot of a correlation when it comes to titanX. So basically, we get in, and then we had a massive FUD event. There's a couple big influencers came in. People took massive profit, and they went down. And then next, you know, it absolutely exploded. So when it was going down, people were FUDing, and then the price started going up, and all those people who were FUDing had nothing to say. So the price of PDI kept going up, kept going up, and then next thing you know, we had a correction, because if it goes up exponentially, we have another correction. And then we had FUD, and then come back up, FUD, and then we come back up, everyone's going crazy, and then FUD, and we come back up, and then we get to retest an all-time high. So basically, anytime the price goes up, all those people that were FUDing titanX or PDI, they weren't saying anything. When the price goes down, that's when they come out and they start FUDing. So the big point I'm trying to get across is the reason why they're FUDing, they're trying to engagement farm. They're trying to get more attention on them. And to be honest with you, when it comes to the internet, people like to fight battles. People use the internet to promote their brand, and they use it as a way to bring in money. And the point I'm trying to get across with titanX is we're going to follow these cyclic waves that I'm talking about. And based on the buy and burn address, we're going to have it go slowly up and to the right. And then when we hit that net deflationary point where titanX goes absolutely deflationary and absolutely goes crazy, every time the price goes down, these guys are going to come out and say something about it. And then once the price goes out, they're going to go back into the woods. They're going to hide, and they're going to continue to act like they didn't FUD it to begin with. So one thing I will say is, you know, the best way to approach FUD is through educational responses. You know, show numbers, show facts, show what's going on with people. And if they respond in an emotional way, they try to attack you personally or whatever, then that's something wrong with them, and it's just a way for them to cover up their insecurities. So please don't fall for this trap. It's always going to happen, and this is going to recur like 6 or 7 times. I'm just at the point where I'm so numb to this, I just don't even care anymore. And unless if it's like a really, really big name, I won't go at it if you're a very, very small account. I only go at it with accounts that are bigger than me that like to go and, you know, get into those battles. So overall, guys, please don't fall for the FUD event. titanX is a long-term mindset. This project's a long-term mindset. All the FUD has already been addressed. You can watch all the live streams and, you know, just leave it at that. So, all right. Whoa, we got a lot of comments and chat. So let's check out the chat right now. So Pulsechain altcoin talk. So when can we burn titanX to get hyper? When does that even start? Well, a date hasn't been launched yet, and I think Jake said he didn't want to set a date with Crypto Kindness, because he wants all the weekend short-term miners to jump out of the protocol, and then he wants to launch titanX. So that's part of the reason. But I can't predict the launch date. I did predict the titanX launch date when I first got the white paper and I started talking to Jake. And I do have some ideas on dates based off of numerology, astrology. But I'm also in this weird phase where I don't want to put it out there because, you know, I want Jake to do his thing and still have the artist surprise. So I'm still debating on it. I do have a tweet on Twitter or x.com, and if it gets 369 retweets and 888 likes, I'll release a list of all the probable dates based off of astrology, numerology. But for right now, I'm kind of gatekeeping. But I'll tell you guys some things to look for at the end of this video, since you guys are my loyals and you guys show me support. So shout out to you guys. All the way in you. Shout out to you, man. Good to see you, man. titanX, a beast. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. Revo community. Evening, all. Hey, evening to you, sir. Good to see you. Eric. Hi from freezing cold Norway. titanX keeping us warm. Yeah, what's up, Eric? Shout out to you, man. Dang, I can't believe people from Norway are actually watching my videos. That's crazy. This is pretty cool, man. So shout out to you, man. RayoX, the 1-day RSI. So RSI's relative strength index looks really oversold, and a bounce could be in the cards. Absolutely. RayoX, if you put out a tweet about the RSI, could you tag me? I'll make sure I retweet it, man. But that's a very good point. And so the point that he's talking about with the relative strength index is typically when you look at the price, it's based on the buys and sells. And sometimes when you see a token that's been completely oversold, it has a little bit of a bounce back. And so what RayoX is saying is a lot of people are selling titanX, and there could potentially be a bounce back coming soon. Monir, hopefully I said your name right. titanX, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. The Mo, what's up, brother? Dude, I absolutely love the Mo, man. Good to see you, man. He absolutely kills it on Twitter. If you guys get a chance, please follow the Mo. He has a lot of great information. I absolutely love seeing his stuff. Orion, another really great titanX influencer. What's up, Orion? Good to see you. I actually gonna be talking about one of your tweets today, so stay tuned to the end. Please also follow Orion. He's a really good community member in titanX. He's got a lot of info. Shout out to you, man. Pulse Pilgrim. What is the official Telegram channel name? If you want to find the channel Telegram name, go check out the titanX document. I have it in the description below. Click on that link, and then you can get the Telegram name. Landscraper, shout out to you, brother. Good to see you, man. What's up, DJs? Good to see you. Miami Bobby, my guest date for Hyper, 24th of February, 2024. 24th of the 2nd, 2 times 4 equals 8. 2024, 2 times 4 equals 8. Hey, that could very well be a possibility, Miami Bob. Definitely. I mean, if you got conviction on when the hyper date launch is happening, that might be a great time to do a minor, not financial advice. But definitely really great stuff. Whoa, we got a lot of comments now. Let me catch up real quick. Yesterday, someone bought 15K of batch mining 14 days. It showed negative 38%. Anyone seen that? Someone bought 15K of batch mining 14 days. Oh, okay. So you're saying it was like a negative 38. Well, maybe the reason why they're doing that is because they think there's going to be a bounce back within the next week or 2 weeks. That's the only probable idea that I have, that, you know, maybe they bounce back and then they get the short-term miner, they can go and sell it. That's probably what they're thinking. Or maybe they messed something up. I'm not really sure. RG3, shout out to you, man. Good to see you. Wait, is that RG3 from hex.com? Huh. Oh, okay. No, that's a different RG3. So, okay, cool. Sorry, I thought it was like the RG3 from Hex. Miami Bob, plus 2 plus 4 equals 2 plus 4 plus 2 equals 8. Yep. Wake Dog, PDI is not going to $1. Sorry to throw some reality in there. Hey, man, never say never. You know, the point of me bringing up that chart with PDI is I'm explaining the FUD events. As to what happens with PDI, that's something we got to see, man. So we'll just wait. We'll just wait and see. And if it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. It is what it is. Avoid Pyro seems shady. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about projects in a minute. We'll get into that real quick. But yeah, we'll talk about Pyro in a minute. Frosty Dog, titanX, Pulse, PulseX, Hex, and Zen. RG3, yo, what's up, Decent Part? Shout out to you, RG3. Dan, if Hyper launches on February 28th, it will be too obvious. Huh. That's very, very, very true. Pulse Pilgrim, what do you make of Joe Perry's call for titanX to be the top altcoin of 24? His last 2 videos, you can see him trying to restrain his excitement. I do agree with Joe. I think with Joe Perry, he's a lot like me and B Roots and Adam. We're profit maxis, and we're always looking for the next altcoin to explode. The reason why my channel hasn't blown up the way it has was because we didn't want to sit there and talk about a coin over and over again going in the future. We want to talk about a plethora of coins. And in my opinion, based on his research, that dude has probably read through thousands of projects, and he got to a point where he becomes like a PhD level expert. And I think what he sees with titanX is massive potential, which is awesome. So, yeah, I do agree with his assessment, and I do think Joe's a very smart dude, and you know, and I continue to follow him in the future, and we'll see what he has to put out there. Jay Gee, here for the titanX. I heard they're winning big over there. Absolutely, man. Shout out to you, man. Damon, smash the like button, you peasant. God damn it, you're such an animal, man. I love you, dude. Good stuff. Rayo X FUD means pump. I think we're gearing up for a bullish month in January 5th payouts in 1 month. Definitely great point. Let's see. Okay. All right. So we got a lot more comments. I'll go through the rest of them in a minute. Now, let's get into the next thing I wanted to talk about. Let me get back into it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about Hyper. I know everyone's been talking about Hyper. And in my opinion, when I look at Hyper, I see a lot of people missing the point. I heard a lot of voice chats, and some people got it, some people don't. And I think the whole idea behind Hyper, it's a very, very difficult concept. So I'm gonna try to bring up this little graph that Jake put out there, and then I'm gonna talk a little bit about how the liquidity pool will function in support of titanX. So if we come over here to a screen share, let's see if I can zoom in on this. Oh. No, it doesn't want me to zoom in like that. I want to make sure. Let's zoom out and see how much it covers. All right, cool. So here's how Hyper works. So you go into the protocol and you have to do a 1 billion titanX burn. On top of that, you have to pay a 0.2 Ethereum fee. It buys titanX, swaps for Hyper, and then it burns Hyper right off the market. The next thing it does, you get bonuses, early adoption plus a burn bonus amplifier. And then in exchange, you're going to get staked Hyper, 8% APR to 35% APR. And this can be staked out between 8 and 888 days. On top of that, there's an 8% builder reward. It goes into the titanX Hyper LP pair, swaps it for Hyper, burns Hyper right off the bat, and basically pushes up the titanX Hyper ratio. So ultimately, how this chart's going to perform. Now let's do another nice little screen share. So let's do a quick little screen share. So basically, what Hyper is trying to do is create this thick liquidity pool between titanX. So I'll go right here. And we'll say titanX, and then Hyper. And I'll just call it HYPER. And so right here, this is an LP across the board. And then the other one we have titanX. And then we got our boy ETH over here. ETH. Bada boom, bada boom. So we got titanX here with Hyper, and then we got titanX here with Ethereum. Now, if we come over here and we look at the overall description, basically one of the first thing it does is it comes over here, swaps for Hyper, and then burns Hyper that is bought. So when it comes into, when that buy and burn comes in with that 0.ETH, it comes into here, and basically, oh, let's see if we can go back. Why does it move up? All right. And basically when it burns this Hyper, it's actually going to increase the value of this liquidity pool. When the price of Hyper gets burned off the market, it's a buy and burn, so it's going to increase this. The price of titanX goes up right here. And when that happens, that means people are going to come from the titanX ETH liquidity pool and then try to take that titanX, sell in here. And through those transactions, it's actually going to come out and burn more titanX. Boom, baby. Burn titanX. That is actually the first utility, main right here. Burn titanX. Bada beam, bada boom. Now the next thing, we have 1 billion titanX burned right off the market. So just with this right here, it will actually come into this liquidity pool, take titanX and burn it right off the market. Some people will do a buy and burn. Some people will take their titanX and just burn it straight off the market. When this happens, it's actually going to increase the value of this liquidity pool, and it's going to do the same thing here where the value of titanX is going to increase, and this is going to incentivize people from the titanX and Hyper pool to take their titanX and sell it into this pool. And the fees that are done through that transaction, it's going to burn more titanX right off the market, baby. So let's freaking go. Now, coming over here, we have the get staked Hyper. Now the staked Hyper, this is a very unique feature, and the reason why this is a very unique feature is because you're going to have some of that hyper being inflated into the future. And so the idea is if there's any hyper on the market and people want to earn some APR right off of it, you can actually take it, buy it up, and stake it into the future. And when that happens, you're actually going to add more value to this titanX hyper pool, and it's just going to increase the value, and then it's going to increase the arbitrage opportunity as well and go through the same process. So the main point I'm trying to get across is where it all comes down to is you have two liquidity pools, titanX and hyper, titanX and Ethereum. In order to buy hyper, you got to go and buy titanX and then swap for hyper. Now, these utilities where it comes in where you do a titanX burn, you have to pay a 0.2 ETH reward to get hyper tokens. That 0.2 ETH reward is going to buy titanX, swap it for hyper, burn off right off the market, or 8% of the bill reward goes in and swaps for hyper and then burns the hyper off the bot market. What this is going to do is it's going to cause fluctuations in the price, and it's going to cause these arbitrage opportunities. And the main thing you guys got to understand is with hyper, it's going to increase volume. Yes, sir. Volume. That is the main meat and the cheese of what hyper is trying to do. Because if we can increase this volume, basically we're going to be burning titanX like crazy. So with the introduction of titanX, there's actually 4 main components being put into it that's also going to burn titanX like crazy, add value to hyper, tie the value of hyper to titanX, and create an awesome ecosystem. And so if you guys still don't understand titanX and hyper, the best way to really explain it is if you come over here to atropa and PDI. Now, atropa and PDI has something similar, but it's a lot different. titanX and hyper is going to be using a DApp, but this is where Jake got his original idea. You guys can check out my last live stream. Essentially, what happened with atropa and DAI, someone came in, burned atropa and DAI off of the market, and so by burning that off of the market, they created a massive arbitrage opportunity between this pool, which is about 58K liquid, a market cap of 5.2 billion. And so there's a massive arbitrage opportunity between atropa and DAI and Wrap Pulse. And because this was set up, it's actually adding a price floor to PDI and atropa. And so if I go over here to log, you guys can see when atropa came into the picture, it's actually creating this nice little price floor that's continuing to ascend up and to the right. Now, if I come over here to the DAI and the Wrap Pulse one, it's much more prevalent when I click in the log, and you can see that since the launch of Pulsechain, PDI has been constantly going up and up and up, and that's part of the reason because atropa is creating this thick burn liquidity pool that's creating this massive price floor. This is what titanX and hyper is trying to create. The difference is titanX and hyper is actually a little bit better than what's going on with PDI and atropa because it's using a really cool DApp. It has game theory, and there's multiple things going into this ecosystem. So if you guys don't really understand the the atropa and titanX, look at what's going on with PDI and atropa, and that's where the light bulb's going to click. Right now, hyper set up so that, there's staking mechanics and there's also buy and burn mechanics to incentivize more people to come in and increase price appreciation buying hyper. Also, on top of what's going on with hyper is you can actually build dApps on top of hyper as well. So not only can you build on titanX, you can also build on hyper. And I would not be surprised if a project comes in and says, hey, I'm going to build on hyper instead of titanX because I want to be the first project to build on hyper. That would be actually crazy, and that would add so much utility to the ecosystem and increase the game theory. So overall, in my opinion, hyper is going to be awesome. When it comes out, man, I'm going to do so many live streams talking about game theory, getting into strategies, and really talk about it. So good stuff. All right, now let's see if we got any more comments. So let's see. Early to titanX is like being early to Hex. Couldn't agree more. Damien tagged you in a tweet to have you back. Shout out to you, Damien. Good stuff. The Mo, Norway's gorgeous. One of the best places I've ever been. Yes, sir. I couldn't agree more. Rev, should the projects launching have some community guidelines? An example, doxing and auditing. Hey, Revo, great question because I was actually going to talk about that. So I think I'll talk about that right now since we're getting kind of towards the end. But here's my thing about projects launching. I have seen developers that weren't docs but put out an audit and KYC'd, and the projects are still working out to the future. And then I've also seen projects go with the same approach and they end up being rug pulls and really, really sketchy. Now, if you look at one of the live streams when Jake came in and he talked about projects launching on top of titanX, he set some clear guidelines. First guideline, all I want you guys to do is build, create a great product, reward the ecosystem. Number 2, you got to get audited. You got to have at least more than one audit, preferably 3. Two should get the job done. And then number 3, you got to be doxed out there in the open. Now, that's the titanX standard because that's what Jake set. In my opinion, when it comes to a project, I'm not going to cover any projects that are building on top of titanX until I see at least an audit or maybe a developer that comes out and doxes himself, or someone who's going to be out there and is trying to be benevolent. Because my main concern right now is I was one of the first people to cover titanX with Jake. I got attacked for it. I got a lot of backlash. You guys know me, man. I don't really care. But I have so many people watching me, and they're waiting for me to slip up, and they're trying to use me as a way to get after titanX, Jake, and all the other people within this community. I'm not going to let it happen. So, in my opinion, when I start, no, not in my opinion, but basically, when I cover a project, it's going to be, in my mind, a clear representation that's not a rug pull. It's not going to be harming to the community. And I think it's going to be really, really great. There's going to be projects that I'm going to look at. I'm going to skim over. I'm not going to even address on X or Twitter.com because I'm not sure if we're going to get some sort of scammers. I'm not sure if there's going to be bad actors. And this is what I fear the most. And that's why I'm going to be extremely cautious with what I do. If you're a titanX influencer, if you like to talk about titanX, you want to do your own approach, go ahead. More power to you. But me personally, I'm going to be extremely careful because I know this is going to happen and people are going to attack the titanX community for it, and I don't want that to be a huge deal. So when it comes to these projects launching, be extremely careful. Don't feel like you have to jump into every single project. And, and the one thing I will say is there's nothing wrong with watching a project launch for a week or maybe a month or even 2 months and just watching and seeing what happens. You don't have to jump in right away. Not every project is like that. And in my opinion, with new projects launching on top of titanX, there's nothing wrong with being cautious. titanX is a great play in the cryptocurrency market. It's my #1 play coming into the bull market. Everything else after this is going to be extra and can only add value to titanX. Because at the end of the day, when projects build on top of titanX, all roads lead to titanX. So the main point I'm trying to get across is don't feel like you're going to have to get in. Don't let the FUD get you. Just chill, sit back, be observant. But for me to cover your project, I need to see audits. And I need to see multiple audits. I need to see a white paper. And I need to see some sort of professionalism that indicates that you're not a scammer. And so that's my take. That's why I call it the titanX standard. And hopefully these developers launching on top of titanX will succumb to the standard and, set a really be a really great role model for future developers. So good stuff. Hi. Please tell me when the 8-day staking payment is accessible tomorrow. I'm pretty sure it'll be in the morning. I got to double check, but there's a timer on the website you can check out. Orion. Orion's amazing. Shout out to Frosty Dog. Good to see you, man. New Dawn Crypto Hyper April 28, 2024. Orion, thanks for the kind words. Just doing my part. You're all amazing. Good stuff, man. Let's see, man. I see a lot of there's a lot of comments here. So let's see. Whoa, what is this? Wow. How do I show on the channel? Wow, I just got a super chat, a big one. All right. JZ Hexing. Over the next 33 days, titanX stakers will be receiving 7 individual payouts in the form of ETH. Absolutely. Hey, JC Hexing, shout out to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. That means a lot. Dang. That's awesome. $188.88, man. That's awesome. If you guys get a chance, please follow JZ Hexing on Twitter Absolutely awesome. Great influencer, great info. Gets into Hex, and I really do appreciate that. That is awesome, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. Cool. Ray OX. titanX is a Hex 2.0. Only outlaws here. Good stuff. Hey, Rec to Riches. Shout out to you, man. Money Maxi here. If you guys get a chance, Rec to Riches, he has some really great live streams. Go on to x.com. Please follow him. Check out his YouTube channel. I absolutely love it. Really great dude. Good stuff. Let's see. Shout out to Bobby. What's up, Bobby? Good to see you, man. Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Carl, titanX destroyed the entire saying of if it's too good to be true, then it isn't. I'm still having trouble comprehending how I made so much off of titanX. How's this even real? Carl, genuine question. Why buy any other coin why not just go all in on titanX? Well, I do agree. Hey, first off, shout out to you, Carl. Really great dude. You're always in my live streams. Thanks for all the love. Thank you for all the support. You're absolute stud. The one thing I want to say is, titanX is a great project. There's always going to be some really great place outside of it. I do suggest diversification, not financial advice, but overall, I do agree titanX is an awesome one. So good stuff. Orion, thanks for the support. I love Kris explaining these LPs so well. JZ Hexakin, shout out to you as always. Dan, my God, I need more titanX. The Mo, mine. Yannick, Meta guy once he said, if you don't know why coin is in the top 10, your competitors' weaknesses and strengths, you need to shut up. Okay, seem knowledgeable. That guy was RH. Vibra, shout out to you, man. What's up? Shout out to my boy Adam. Good guy. Good stuff, man. Say, hey Kris, hi from Paris in France. I also stand by my first prediction for Hyper. Chinese New Year in the Year of the Dragon, and if I'm wrong, I'll apologize to absolutely nobody. Dude, I absolutely love that video. So that video where it says, is titanX a scam? And there was that 16-hour period where everyone was freaking out. They're like, dude, what does Kris know about titanX? Yada, yada. I hit up Jake and I told him what I was doing. And right when that happened, the video dropped. So many people are like, dang, dude, Kris got us. The one thing I'm proud of when it comes to titanX, I am the only influencer who found a way to educate all the haters about titanX. Me. I was probably one of the only ones to actually do that, and I thought it was pretty cool. So awesome stuff. Cool. Ray OX, when Hyper comes out, it's all about the burn. Yes, sir. We got burn, baby, burn. JZ Hexing, targeting 3,000 miners by June. Yeah, that'll be cool, man. Build up the bag, man. Cool. Good stuff. Dazzle, what do you think Jake meant by his tweet talking about HyperX scraping the surface of game theory? I'm not really sure which tweet it is. I've been looking at a lot of stuff, but I think I think I know what you're talking about. So I think there's more to add to Hyper is what he's saying. What we saw was a very oblique overview in this chart. Here, I think it was this chart right here. Where is this chart? So when he's saying scraping the surface, I think what he's getting into is this is just a little bit of an overview of what's happening. There might be some more things behind this that he wants to add to make it a lot better. But overall, it's a really great protocol, and I still think it's going to be in development. So we'll just have to wait to see how it plays out. Cool. Now let's see what we got. Market man, please explain how to use the buy and burn. Nobody explains it in detail. Still don't understand if it's automatic or you have to use it somehow. All right, so market man, let's just get into the buy and burn. So basically, if you come over here to this website, you can come over here to, so there's a buy and burn. There's the V2 and the V1. So the V2 is the fast release where there's a certain amount of ETH that comes in and burns up the titanX token. It's changed a couple times. I'm not sure if it's in the description. Someone comment down below how much ETH is used every day. And then this is the V1 that's used in emergencies. So there's two different ones. And the end goal is to combine V1 and V2. And so when they talk about calling the buy and burn, you connect your wallet right here, you press a button, and basically what happens is the buy and burn's activated, and then you also distribute ETH payouts to everybody's wallets. So it's a contract call function right here that the user has to do it. You have to approve a smart contract and pay a gas fee. So right here, that is where you do it. I'm not going to connect the wallet because I don't want to show my wallet right now. And that's what people mean by calling the buy and burn. And in some instances, it could be extremely profitable. But overall, when you see that, that's what people are talking about. So, cool. Good stuff. The first, all right. Jay-Z Hexing, I love this. 2024 is the year of karma. Share the love. Absolutely. Thanks, Jay-Z. All right, how about this? If you guys want me to get into some numerology and astrology behind the hyper launch date, put a Y down in the chat right now while I'll read through some of these comments, and I'll get into it. Since Jay-Z Hexing hooked it up, man. Shout out to you, man. That was awesome. Trevor, I've been talking all of my early miners that I've received and positioning myself for staking. Good stuff. Dazzle, 565 new users today. That is awesome. Good stuff. Jara. Jay. Nice one, Kris. Educating us how to get rich. Appreciate that, man. Good to see you, man. All right, let's see. Let's see if we got any more questions. Sorry, guys. I can't go through every single one of these. Dan, all right, so 3.33 ETH every 8 minutes. Okay, awesome. Thanks, Dan, for that. The T rank bonus blows my mind. I hope everyone's chat understands the T rank. Good point. David, you got in 1 month late, still got a 3x and 4x batch mining. Okay, all right. We'll talk about numerology and astrology. There's a bunch of Y's in the chat. So, okay, all right. So, when it comes to numerology and astrology, the reason why Jake talked about this stuff is some people believe we live in a simulation and there's energy all around us. And the numbers and the things that you see throughout your life are indicators of what could happen going on in the future, what could impact you right now. And it's basically a way to describe the type of energy. So, for example, 8 is the number of money, but it's also the number of karma. And so typically if you look at an 8, big round, it goes up and then goes down. Typically, people that have any association with the number 8, they get hit with karma very, very hard. But on the flip side, 8 is also the number of money. That's why Jake has 8 all over the place. And then 28. The reason why 28 is such a powerful number is because you have 2 and then 8. And so it's saying 2 8s. And so typically people that were born on the 28th or they had their birthday add up to 28 are typically the ones that basically earn the most wealth in life. Now, this is the theory behind numerology, and I don't get into it so much because some people get lost, but ultimately, a lot of people that I would say the elites, quote unquote, I don't want to get banned off of YouTube, but a lot of the elites get into numerology and astrology, and they really, really study it, and you look at stuff. So let me give you guys some examples. There's one man who's arguably the most richest man in the entire world. He's actually the president of a country, and the name of that country is Russia. And guess what day Vladimir Putin is born on? He's born on July 28th, 1983. 28 is the number of wealth. Some people think Putin is a trillionaire. Now, if you go in and you look at this day on July 28th, from my understanding, this actually might be the 280th day of the year as well. 28, number of wealth. Now, on top of that, Trident gum. If you guys take a look at Trident gum, 28 sticks in a pack of gum. The reason why they do that is to attract wealth energy behind gum. And that's the theory behind it. So they have 28 right here. On top of that, a famous rapper, I like to listen to his music. I'm sure you heard of his music. Kanye. Guess what? Kanye launched, I think, Yeezy Pods on December, right here. December 28th. The number of wealth. So the reason why I got into those examples is because when you, not Vladimir. Sorry, let me get back. Sorry. This wasn't Vladimir Putin's birthday. This was actually Vladimir Putin's wedding date. So he actually got married on the 28th. I'm sorry, I messed that up. So when he got married on the 28th, that's an indication that he's trying to bring wealth to his life, and overall he became a trillionaire. I'm sorry, I don't know why I thought it was his birthday. His birthday is on the 280th day of the year, so I messed that up. So sorry about that, guys. But overall, the idea with the number 28 and 8, that has to do with the number of money, but it's also the number of karma. Anybody who's associated with 8 is either super, super rich or they don't got it and they're absolutely poor. And that's what gets into this in numerology and astrology. Now, when Jake launched titanX on October 28th, that was actually during a full moon. Full moon has a lot to do with energy. When you have the full moon out, tides on the beach go up a little bit higher and a little bit further back. Also, the human body is made up of about 70% water. So when full moons come in, it pulls on that water and people tend to go crazy. They tend to be extremely emotional. The reason why they call it lunatics is because of full moons. Lunatic. So based off of that, typically when things launch on full moons, they do really, really well in terms of astrology. Now, how does this get into hyper? And all you guys want to know when hyper is launching. So I'll give you guys some inside scoop. I won't say the specific date, but I'll give you some inside scoop to look for it. And I'll draw out right here. So some things that you want to look for. Number 1, 28. 8, 17, 26. On each of these days of the month, these are wealth dates. And so when I say, like, for example, you know, like we'll say like 2, 28 or 2, 26. You want to look for a date with this number in it as well right here. An 8, a 28, a 17, or 26, or if the date adds up to 28, 8, 17, and 26. Number 2, you want to look for full moon. Typically, when you launch a project on full moon, the energy is with you, and that's what astrologers believe. I'm not really big in astrology. I like numerology a little bit more, but full moon, that's another big one that you want to be looking for. Also, another one, number 11. Number 11 is the number of influence. So anything associated with number 11, it has to do with being influential. Some of the biggest influencers are born on the 11th or 29th. Their birth date also adds up to 11 or 29. Number 11 is the number of the influencer. Everybody sees it all the time. 1111. It means your third eye is opening up. That's the superstition behind it, and that's the theory behind it. 11 is the number of influence, but it's also the number of emotional energy. A lot of big events happen on the 11th. I'm not going to say it because I'm going to get banned off of YouTube, but I think you guys can figure out what I'm talking about. So we'll keep that oblique. Another thing you want to look for, anything associated with 22 or 33. 22 is the master builder number. George Washington, born on the 22nd. Vladimir Lenin, born on the 22nd, founder of the Soviet Union. They are the master builders. They built the U.S., and Vladimir Lenin built the Soviet Union. Master builder. And then 33, the most important number of all. This is the number of the master teacher. Anyone who's associated with 33 came into the simulation onto this earth to teach the world something. Einstein was a 33. Who else was a 33? Robert Kiyosaki, the guy who wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he's a 33. Gary Greenberg, the guy, the base of the father, modern day numerology, he's a 33. Anything associated with 33, they are some of the biggest names in any certain type of field. Thomas Edison, the founder of the light bulb, he was a 33. So if the date is on the 22nd or adds up to a 22 or 33, those are some things to look for. Now, the last thing, I'm pretty sure some of you guys already know this. Now, this is one thing that not a lot of people don't look at when it comes to numerology. It has to do with the order of days from the start of the year. So one thing I would also be looking for is when 2024 starts, I would be specifically looking at dates that add up to either 8, 28, or 280, or 170, or 260. So for example, let's start with 8 days after the new year. So January 8th, 2024. That's within the realm of possibility. February 28th, 2024. That's within the realm of possibility. So you want to look at the actual date from the start of the year. If it adds up to like an 8, 28, 170, 260 days, that's also a play because there is a numerology aspect behind that. And this is like the hidden part of numerology that's not talked about a lot. I'm pretty sure I'm probably going to get bashed for this later because not many people like to put this out here, but I'm going to give it to you guys just so you know. So based off of all that information I gave you guys, I gave you a lot there. Look at some dates and use that sequence to figure out what you think the date is. I don't want to give like a specific date and give it away because, you know, I know Jake has plans on building out the protocol. He doesn't want people rushing him, and I'm sure that he also doesn't want front running. But there's a lot of information I gave you guys there. Play it back, look at it, and on Twitter, post what date you think is going to happen. So awesome stuff. Good stuff. All right. I keep seeing 72 everywhere. Interesting. Can you imagine if you were born on February 29th on leap year and get one birthday every 4 years? Yeah, I know, man. That would not be fun. Rayo X, the year of the dragon in 2024 will bring luck, wealth, and power. Yes, sir. Also, keep in mind, the year of the dragon can also indicate, you know, a war, and 2024 is also the year of karma. So make sure you guys, you know, be careful in 2024. Be nice to people because year of karma is also coming up. Bad stuff happens to people who did bad stuff. Trevor Lee, question. Let's say I have multiple stakes in the stake payouts. When it's time to burn for hyper, will I be able to select which stakes I would like to burn? Or do I have to burn all of my stakes? You can select which stakes, and I think there's a staking minimum. I need to go back and look at it, but I think the staking minimum is more than 38 days, I think. I think it has to be more than 8 days if you're going to burn a titanX stake for hyper. I need to double check that, but I'll cover it on the next future live stream, so I'm going to write that down. But overall, you can choose which stakes you want to do. You don't have to do every single one of them. So, Putin was born in 1983. Elon, born on the 28th. Yes, sir. Elon was. Yeah, sorry about that, Dan. I messed that up. I was talking about Putin's marriage. I got a little too excited. Jumped the gun a little bit. My wife and I intentionally married on 11/11 at 11 a.m. Holy smokes. Dang. That is why Jay-Z Hexen, well, on top of that, you're a really great crypto analyst and influencer, but that is so powerful. 11/11/11. That is crazy. Man, so that's basically, I guess that's like a 33 day, I think. I need to do the math on that, but man, that is so cool. Dazzle, Bill Gates, October 28th. Yes, sir. Putin was born in 1952. You got, yes, you're correct. I meant to say his marriage. I was a 28 when I got my first biddy. Awesome. Shout out to you, man. Good stuff. Revo Community, Magnetic. Revo Community, also, always sleep with the moon in front of you. Yes, sir. Jay-Z Hexing, GG33. Yes, sir. Shout out to GG33. Revo Community, 11/11 might be a day. Yeah, Revo Community, if it's 11/11, that means you're an old soul. So you've been doing this for a very long time. You got a lot of influence, man. So definitely use it, dude. Marky Man, in how many months approximately is titanX supposed to become deflationary or less inflationary? So that's a good question. That's a $1 million question. I think when we get close to day 333 or someday between 280 and 333 is when I think titanX will go from inflationary to hyper deflationary, because we'll have projects built out. We'll have most of our big miners claimed and out in the market. And I think overall, that's when we're going to start to see a massive supply shock. So in my opinion, I think it's going to be somewhere in that day, and that's when we're going to see some massive price action. Till then, we're going to go through that wave theory I was talking about. Jay-Z, I'm a 33 life path. All right, that makes a lot of sense. Dude, that's crazy, man. You're 33, man. Well, hey, you got my support, Jay-Z. You're out here to change the world, and I hope you do your thing, man, and keep balling out. So shout out to you. So Good stuff. Frosty Dog, October 28, 2024 is the 1-year anniversary titanX Vegas party. No convention, just 3-day party at different clubs. Dude, let's do it, man. I'm down to go to Vegas and hang out. That would be really cool. You know, hang on the Snake City. That would be cool. So, Scotty, I like 7 or 7-7 or 7-7. 7 is the number of perfection. Yes, 7's the number of perfection, but also keep in mind, 7 can also mean like injury and lonership. So 7 is a very good number when it comes to perfection and intelligence, but also be careful when you're doing sports and stuff because people tend to be injured when it comes to 7. Everything goes back to numbers. Yeah, sure. Couldn't agree more. Jake Lee, Bloody Hell's Bells. I was born on 11/28. No way, dude. That's crazy. Jay-Z, the Matrix knows Jake and Jake knows the Matrix. Yes, sir. Say, all my life I saw 7 everywhere and influenced me. I tattooed it on my shoulder. And then Ray OX, 8-day auto lockup for every burn for hyper. Yes, sir. Revo community, old soul, lived a million lives, still here. Yes, sir. Dan, smash the like button. Shout out to you. Vibra Finance. No wonder my birthday is 9/19. What year was it? 9/19. Gotcha. Makes sense. I gotcha. Yeah, so I get into the numerology aspect, and you know, the one crazy thing I will say about it is, believe it or not, I'm actually a 28 life path. And the first person Jake interviewed, well, that came on and talked about titanX was actually me. And my birthday adds up to 28, which is the number of wealth. So it's actually pretty cool how the matrix lined up, especially since you know, I have a huge association when it comes to money and numerology. So definitely really great stuff. Abraham, I don't understand T rank. All right, so Abraham, here's how T rank works. Basically, when you go and you start a miner, and you basically have to take ETH, you put into a miner, and using that miner, a certain amount of titanX is going to be produced. The amount of titanX is going to be produced based on how long you choose to have that miner That titanX will be produced based on how long you take to claim that miner. And so what the T rank is, it's basically your order in line. The sooner you create a miner, the more titanX you're going to get based off your T rank bonus. And so the idea behind that T rank is essentially you get a bonus for doing it earlier. So the sooner you do you create a titanX miner, the more titanX you're going to get. If you decide to wait a week, you're going to get a lot less titanX. And so that's the idea behind the T rank. It's very similar to the T-share setup behind Hex. It's just your order in line when you decide to start a miner for however long you choose to do so. Dazzle, you see the string theory professor who found that all code at that small level, a little proof we were in a simulation. Yeah. Dazzle, believe it or not, I studied quantum mechanics in college and I got into string theory, and that's what actually got me into studying. Well, that basically convinced me that we live in a simulation studying string theory. And yeah, I know who you're exactly talking about. So it's definitely really cool, and it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy how there's actually scientists coming out saying, yeah, we live in a simulation. Dazzle, what's your birthday? Oh man, I don't know if I want to put that out there because I get so scared. All right, actually, you know what? Screw it. People will find out. So my birthday is actually March 10th, 1995. So I feel like a lot of people are going to do readings on that. So March 10th, 1995. Say, I saw the amount on my bank account this end month. I had 28 euros. Am I lucky? Sorry, and love joking. Hold on, wait. I saw the amount of my bank account this end month. I had 28 euros. Am I lucky? Oh man, I love that, guys. That's good stuff. So cool. All right, awesome. All right, guys. Well, I think we're coming up on a little bit over an hour. I covered everything I wanted to talk about. You know, we talked a little bit about titanX. We got into some matrix theory. You know, shout out to all the numerologists. Shout out to Bill. I think it was Bill Obish. He's a big numerology account I follow. Shout out to GG33. You know, I like to follow him too and learn a little bit more. So it's actually really great stuff. March 10th is a Pisces Revo community. So really, really good stuff, guys. But like I said, guys, you know, that's it for the live stream. I want to thank all you guys for coming in, and like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we'll definitely catch you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Love you guys.